Hello folks, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about our criteria for selecting the perfect big game cartridge. So there's several of them. Keith, start us off.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about, choosing one that it is going to have a very high BC, a BC projectile. The one that is going to have a efficient case volume, so we get the maximum burn for on our powders. And we're also going to look for availability of components.
Right.
So, you want to have stuff that has good quality components available, such as the Lapua brass. Brass, believe it or not, is your biggest driver for that efficiency,
very important,
as well as your repeatability. So if you don't have cases that, all weigh sort the same and everything and have a good, standard deviation between the weight cases, you're not going to be able to get a good efficient burn on your powders.
We're looking for inherently accurate calibers too, because accuracy is the number one issue. We always try to get maximum performance out of that too, but we try to do it with temp stable powders, such as the new Vitavori temp stable offerings, the Alliant temp stable offering, Hodgdon's extreme powders, because if you don't have a powder that's going to have pretty much the same velocity across a broad temperature range, then you're not going to be a long-range shooter, period.
And with that being said, like you're talking about, most people are doing all their load development, everything in the summertime, right there at the edge of fall, to where you have those high temperatures. And as that temperature drops off, you're going to have a little bit of variation. The older powders, you could have up to 3 to 5 feet per second for every degree.
Yeah, 50 degrees, 150 feet a second, where these might be 15 feet a second.
Correct. So, and those are some of the most efficient powders out there because of how well they actually have that temp stable coating on them and everything.
So we're looking for a caliber that's got good bullets, good brass, good powder, and then somebody to know how to make those shoot a little hole, which is us.
Absolutely. And like the other criteria being, like with the calibers that we select, is we want those retained velocities to stay higher longer. So like that's where the BC comes in, but also the weight of the projectile that we're selecting.
So even at short range, they still got huge energy. At long range, they still have enough energy left. So
more than enough to stay within those ethical ranges that we set forth before, when we're talking about our ethical shots.
Okay, so that's our criteria for selecting them. Next week, we're going to talk about our 10 all-time favorites. And that's your downrange segment for this week, brought to you by Keith and Allan and McWhorter Custom Rifles.